Welcome back, everybody. It's Chappelle Orange Hat here to bring you another video. And yes, I am sporting a new hat to show everybody. I will go back to my other hat, my spring and summer hat, shortly. But yeah, I just wanted to show this one off, let y'all see it and whatnot. So yeah, um, so hold on one moment. Ugh. And I'm back to my other, well, semi-new hat itself. So we are back with episode 29 of the theme streams. It is Clash of the Titans versus Wrath of the Titans, the remake Clash, not the old Clash. It would make no sense if I did it that way. And so yeah, it's the ones versus twos. So before we get started, I want to say thank you to everybody who has been helping out, putting forward time or watch time on my things. It still says I'm at 3,900. I'm hoping that I can finally break through to 4,000 pretty soon. The best way to do that, folks, is watch watch the playlists, the longer ones, the shorter ones, doesn't matter, just keep on watching them. Also take a look at my views or my videos and whatnot. Like, share them out, share the stream out, share the channel out and whatnot. That'll also help. But also, tonight I will be on the Barroom Podcast, Tuesday nights at 9. It'll be on Society Reviews channel. Tomorrow night is Mara Jade's channel, Jade Shadow, where we're talking Leprechaun 2. Thursday is 47 Ronin on my channel for the singles. Friday is Orange Hat Uncensored. And Sunday nights are the weekly recap. So, without further ado, let's say hello to the chat. We got Neozoic. Howdy, Orange Hat. Good folks in the chat. Fun question. Who would win in a fight? William Dafoe's Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, or Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, Captain America? It's a good question. I believe Green Goblin would actually take that because he is willing to, or he's crazy enough to not give a shit about rules. You know? That's how yes, Craig, you missed my new one, but if you want to look at it, it's on, or go to my shorts. I did a video, or I did a small little like 10-second short on it. Thank you. As for but yeah, I do believe that Norman Osborn would win that one. Happy birthday to Bruce Willis, indeed. Happy birthday to him. Hope he's doing well. I hear he may not be, but I also hear he might be doing well in other ways as well. Yep, you're on time, Vanya. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. And yep, how you doing, Craig? Junebug, good to see you. So, getting into Wrath and Clash of the Titans, as you all know, with the story, or with the these theme streams, I always look at movies through an objective lens of several categories. Last week, I ended up creating 2 new categories because I realized you got to look at those 2 as well. So with that out of the way, we have story, cast, writing. One of the new ones from last week, pacing, meaning does the story flow well enough? Editing, meaning cutting between different story or elements of the story and whatnot. Effects, acting, leads, music and score, director, budget, and we have the score right here at 0-0. So we are going to start out with story first. So before we do, let's take a look at the chat so I can get update on the chat. Bruce Willis has a form of dementia, aphasia, I believe, is what he has. He has both dementia and aphasia. He contracted aphasia, and that's what led to his retirement, as well as he later contracted dementia, full on dementia. So, yes. Anyway, getting into story here. So, Clash of the Titans is basically the gods are pissed off. The Greek pantheon is pissed off. Humans are no longer praying to them. They are starving them of their power, their prayers. The prayers fuel the gods. And so, in a fit of rage, Zeus decided to shame humanity by especially one of their kings into knocking up his queen, and he ended up having a demigod or a child. And well, the child supposedly was supposed to die. However, it didn't. It was found by a fisherman, played very well by Pete Postlethwaite, and the boy Perseus grows to be a man, and he's with his family, and unfortunately, witnessing Hades coming up from the underworld and attacking soldiers from Argus who had defaced the statue of Zeus, his family got killed in the process. So he ends up losing his family and washing up on or being found by other scouts of Argus, and they bring him to Argus. Well, the gods are I like the scene where the gods are arguing with each other, Apollo, Poseidon, and all of them, and Zeus, who is played very well by Liam Neeson. These are gods that are angry. Some of them are trying to be reasonable, but Zeus has become rage-filled due to the fact that he created humanity so that they could fuel his prayers, or so that they could fuel their immortality and their power. Well, that's when Hades comes up and starts his manipulations. And so Hades then curses Argus and tells them, you have to sacrifice your princess or I will lay waste to all of you. If you don't, or you have until this certain time, and then you will, or it's either that or you're all dead. How would I compare 2010 to 1981? I have not seen 1981's Clash of the Titans. I have only seen the one with Sam Worthington. So we then get the nice adventure where he fights his way through hell, literally the underworld, where Medusa resides, to take her head and to stop the Kraken, which is I have a problem with, because the Kraken is not Greek mythology. It's Norse mythology. The Kraken is a monster of Norse myth and not of the Greek myth. In the original telling of the story, it is actually a monster known as Cetus, Cetus, in which starts to go after Andromeda, Princess Andromeda. Well, it's changed, obviously, and Perseus has to use the head of Medusa in order to turn the monster to stone. With Wrath of the Titans, it is the continuation, obviously. Io, his wife, is dead, but he eventually had a son in between Clash and Wrath. And this is where the son is around 10, 11 years old, 12 years old. And the gods have begun to lose their power completely. The prayers have been starved. And they are now desperate to rebuild the walls of Tartarus, which is the great prison of the underworld, because monsters are escaping onto the planet. Chimera are the most common monsters seen on the planet. However, the Chimera kind of goes against the myth because the Chimera was actually just one monster, not many. It wasn't a common monster. And so they have to travel into the underworld because Hades betrays Zeus and Ares betrays Zeus. And so they are giving Zeus's power to Kronos, their father, to let a Titan come back. So we get to see a Titan come forward in Wrath of the Titans. Both stories are incredibly great and well told. The continuity issue is what is the biggest problem when you see how certain things are done from the first movie to the next. However, when it does come to both of these stories, they are both incredible stories. I like the second one better because you actually see an actual Titan in the film. You actually see a Titan like Kronos in the film and wreaking destruction. In Clash of the Titans, they say that the Kraken is a Titan. And I'm thinking to myself, nope, it was merely a monster. They changed the Greek myth in order to fit their narrative. So, how best to do this? Well, story goes to Wrath of the Titans because the story actually includes a Titan. So Wrath takes the first point. Before we move on to cast, let's go over to the chat. How would I compare 2010 with other 2010 fantasy films such as How to Train Your Dragon, Alice in Wonderland, Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Clash of the Titans actually went into a good pace, man. I actually thought that movie was one of the top movies. I didn't really see Alice in Wonderland until years later. Legends of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole. I thought it was an okay movie, but they should have continued the story. Deathly Hallows was decent. However, the films had just deviated so much from the books at that point, except for base story itself, that it kind of just really fell flat. How to Train Your Dragon, love that story. It's great for kids. Music's awesome. But Clash of the Titans, in fact, was the better one out of all the fantasy films. So going to cast, I have the cast this is the cast for Clash of the Titans. Let's see here. We got Sam Worthington, which I know from multiple movies. Liam Neeson, Ralph Fiennes, Gemma Arterton. I know a lot of these actors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see here. 9. Let's see here. 10, Danny Houston. 11, Liam Cunningham. Pete Postlethwaite. Get this thing out of here. Pete Postlethwaite. Or Postlethwaite. I know him. So that's like 12. Holy crap. Keep going, shall we? Hans Matheson, I've seen in other movies. Plays Ixis. So that's 13. Let's see here. Any others? Not familiar with any others. So now going over to Wrath of the Titans. So obviously we have 3 returning leads, Sam, Lamb, and Ralph. Bill Nye, so 4. Kebbell, 5. Who John's Liebman's play? Rosamund Pike, 6, 7. Edgar Ramirez, 8. Let's see here. Any others that I am not or seeing that should be here but aren't? Not really. So yeah, there is another one. What's her name? Sinead Cusack's. So yeah, so let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. 10 here compared to 13. I think it's very clear that Clash of the Titans definitely takes the cast, because I know more of the cast from Clash than I do with Wrath. Mads Mikkelsen was so freaking great in Clash. So let's see here. Share that tab instead, and we'll get rid of them. Now, hey, Geek Detective Pierce. How would I compare 2010 with other 2000 action films as Robin Hood, A-Team, Predators, Expendables, Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Machete, and RE Afterlife? The Expendables was great. I like the director's cut better. Predators was okay. Never saw the Robin Hood one. A-Team was freaking phenomenal. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen had some decent parts here and there. The score is really what gets me in the Michael Bay Transformers films. Machete, jeez, man. You can't go wrong with Danny Trejo. You really can't. But Clash of the Titans, compared to those movies, it's probably like second place next to Expendables. Third place is A-Team. But yes, the cast, when I know more of the cast, that's the movie that in one movie than the other. Clash definitely gets this point because Clash has like 13 people that I know from more than 2 movies, you know? So updating the scoreboard, we now are tied 1-1 with Clash at 1, Wrath at 1. So now we're going to writing. Now, everybody thinks that writing and the story are the same thing. That is indeed not true. Writing, folks, involves more than just writing the story. It also involves dialogue, setting, explaining things, exposition. You're writing what it looks like out there, you know? Where story is just the main bit, writing also explains here and there, or the here and there, and not just the linear story. So when it comes to writing and how they change the aesthetic of Greek mythology, they had no choice but to continue doing that. When it comes to explaining the Stygian witches, where they tell you what goes on and they trade the eyes now, or they all have one all-seeing eye that they need to tell the future and the past and the present. I think that was a decent story. You also have the giant Scorpiox or Scorpiox. They're not scorpions, they're Scorpiox, which are pretty cool, which it's explained. You also explain the Jinn, which were desert mystics, wanderers, who replace limbs with dark magic and charred wood, and they live for hundreds of years. You also have a captain who has who's lost his daughter and therefore hates the gods because the daughter was taken from him and his family when she was only 16. You have another one who is he's or Solon, played by Liam Cunningham. Such a great character. He's a guy that's ready to retire, or was getting ready to retire, but they call him in for one last hoorah. Basically, yeah. Gemma Arterton in Ralph Fiennes. Yeah. Sorry about that, Vanya. But yeah, you got Nick Holt playing like a flute. He's playing off key and whatnot. And so Solon reaches out and he gives it over to him. He splits it or he busts it, drops it, and continues eating. And so Nick Holt pulls out another one and starts playing again. So it's nice little writing bits like that. And then you also have writing bits in Wrath of the Titans, where you got Hephaestus. Bill Nye playing Hephaestus. Holy shit, man. He has gone insane, essentially. He has been cast off of Olympus, and therefore he is known as the Fallen One. You also write that he forged the god weapons and that the Cyclops held him or helped him. They write how Kronos has made a deal. So you get some good writing here and there. Now, when it comes to the extended edition or the deleted scenes and whatnot, Wrath of the Titans explains how some of the weaker gods or the lesser gods were used to try to fuel Kronos, and their lives were enough to wake up Kronos, however, not free him. Only Zeus's power could free Kronos. So it's one of those deleted scenes that they should have put in to help basically explain that, you know. The extended edition to Clash of the Titans really works as well. However, in Clash of the Titans has better writing because they have expositions areas where they have to explain who certain characters are before they are introduced and whatnot, like King Acrisius, who turns into Calabas because he got cursed by Zeus, and how his own how Acrisius's brother Cepheus takes over now that Acrisius was cursed. So they have a lot more things that were explained, you know. And Gemma Arterton does a good job at explaining different characters, like why Medusa looks the way she does. The Gorgons were actually quite beautiful women. However, Medusa lost favor with Athena, and it happened in a big way, to which Athena cursed all of the Gorgons, not just Medusa. So, yeah. The writing in this case goes to Clash of the Titans, because Clash of the Titans does a better job with the writing in that it explains a lot more, gives a little bit more to or has a lot more additional writing that helps the story along. So now let's update it to 2-1. So Clash is now in the lead, where we are now going to go to pacing. Clash of the Titans basically goes through several different acts. You get setting up the beginning. You get the prologue, the beginning, the little bit in between, then the middle, little bit in between, then the end, and that's it. Um, it's a very uneven pace where you get a pacing of, or you get the pacing with uh, Wrath of the Titans, which is a lot more even. You have these small bits in between the major points where Wrath of the Titan keeps the pace going. Every scene serves a purpose of importance. I especially like when they go to visit Hephaestus. Bill Nye plays that role so much or so well, and I'll get more into it when we get to acting. But when it comes to pacing, Wrath of the Titans is actually better paced. So let me update the score there. Some of these categories, folks, move very quickly through them. So that's just how it is. Editing. Now, when you have cuts between several different trials back in time and whatnot for movies like Clash of the Titans, and then you have Wrath of the Titans, which is cutting between or transitioning to other scenes and whatnot. The editing for Clash of the Titans was here and there. It's very snap edit, so to speak, where they cut to different places. There's no real transition to connect last scene to previous scene. But when they have Wrath of the Titans, you have a scene, or you have scenes in which Zeus calls out to Perseus, prays to his son, so that his son would hear him. And then you see, or they cut to Perseus hearing his father's voice and praying to his father to give him strength, or to give his father strength. Where you also see the snap edit of Perseus having the nightmare that he's unable to save his son because this giant hand made of flames goes over him and starts dragging the earth toward them and killing them, and he wakes up from his dream. So yeah, you have better editing, in my opinion, for for Wrath of the Titans. So Wrath picks up the point here because they have better transitional scenes, especially when they do the close in of looking through Tartarus and then they transition to Zeus in Tartarus getting his power drained, where Clash of the Titans doesn't really have that major smooth transition. All of their transitions are usually very very iffy. They're very just blunt to the next one. So the next one is effects. Now, folks, when you are doing effects, you make a or if you're going to do a movie like or with 3D, you want to make sure that your effects are going to be good. When you have effects that are calling for 3D, you want to make sure that you have a really good sense of 3D. And there's only a couple of bits in the first movie or in the second movie in which 3D was actually very good. However, you could tell that they tried to push it for 3D. Clash of the Titans has very good effects. However, there's also effects that weren't as good. They did a they did a blending of physical effects as well as digital effects, where they do a good job with certain elements. However, other elements they do, or they are less. Where you have the Scorpiox, you could definitely tell that they are freaking digital. Where you have Medusa, who is extremely terribly digital. They even have a spot where her body is, or her snake part of her is slithering around, and it has a little bit of a smudge that appears and then disappears. That to me is frustrating. It is one of the biggest flaws of digital effects because it has a glip, or it's like a blip or something like that, where the digital effects for Wrath of the Titans, you have freaking Kronos who's waking up, who's trying to basically go after his children now that he's awake to kill them so that he can take their power and live and destroy the planet. And you also have the monsters themselves. You have whatchamacallit, the chimeras. You also have Ares coming in. The fight, or the practical effects as well as digital effects, folks. You have the gods standing up against Kronos. You have Hades and Zeus essentially cutting loose. You also have the fight between Ares and Perseus. Ares, the god of war, is just slaughtering people, or is just slaughtering Perseus in the fight, but he's also forcing his son to watch his father get killed. He's forcing Perseus's son to watch his father get the shit kicked out of him. I mean, he's putting him through freaking pillars. His fit, or he's slamming his face through stone and whatnot. I mean, when Ares starts pounding into Zeus down in the underworld, you actually see shockwaves coming off. That's actually pretty well, or those shockwaves are actually pretty well done too. So when it comes to certain elements here and there of both movies, the biggest problem is that they overcompensated in Clash of the Titans when you have the Kraken come out. When the Kraken is rising and they're showing all the water cascading off of him, they kind of oversaturated the water element because the creature is so massive and whatnot. But man, it's like, no, you gotta really you have to do a better job with that, you know? You have to be able to less or know when you are overdoing something. So when it comes to effects, both practical and digital, believe me, Wrath of the Titans is no better. When they were doing the Spear of Triumph, when the three weapons of Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades are brought together as one, it shows it shows that the thing is ever charging itself, and you got to do a good job at keeping that. So it shows that they are unfolding constantly. It's unfolding to make itself, or to keep itself together, you know, because the spear, or the bolt of, or Zeus's bolt, Poseidon's trident, and Hades' pitchfork all can also fold in together to make them are smaller, you know? And I'm thinking to myself, interesting innovation back then. So let's get to the writing here. So while I fix a banner. Oops. So getting back to the chat, because how would I compare Wrath versus Avengers, Dark Knight Rises, Hunger Games, Lincoln Vampire Hunter, Dread, Skyfall, Battleship? Wrath of the Titans was good in that it was good fantasy action. Dread, I really love Dread. Avengers was okay. Hunger Games was interesting. Dark Knight Rises was a step down from Dark Knight. Skyfall, never saw it. Battleship, freaking great or just dumb fun. Where Wrath or measuring up to these movies, Wrath of the Titans is more I would actually say Wrath of the Titans is second place. Dread is definitely first place because I absolutely love Dread. Writing expands and gives more than just the story, how something is depicted and explaining what is going on. This is something that is lacking in all modern films and TV shows nowadays. Not exactly wrong there, Pierce. Not exactly wrong. So the score with effects now done. Wrath of the Titans gains the point for effects. So now we are moving on to acting. Folks, there's good acting, there's bad acting, there's horrible acting, there's monumentally well done acting. And a lot of people give Sam Worthington shit for his acting. I think he does a good job. I actually like Sam Worthington's acting. Especially in this movie where he's or these movies where he's not willing to put up with the Stygian wishes shit. So it's like, now you answer the fucking question that we came here to ask you. How do we kill the Kraken? He's like, now answer the question, how do we kill the Kraken? And they basically are also he plays it soft, or he can play soft as well. He can also play or a more hard character, or a more visceral character, a more war torn character. In Wrath of the Titans, he is older and he's willing to bend a little bit here and there. However, some people think that there's exaggerated acting when he's fighting his brother Ares. And when Ares just grabs his arms and he jerks like this, screams out, a lot of people are like, that's kind of overdoing it. No, it really isn't. Because when a god of war whose strength is immense simply grabs your arms and jerks them upward, you're going to feel breaks, microfractures in your skeleton, because you got a demigod versus a god. So, yes, the demigod is weaker. You have, or the guy who plays Ares, Rodriguez, he does a good job in playing a very jealous god, a god that is war torn, or that is, you feel that he is indeed a very warmongering god. And he does such a good job with that. When one guy throws a knife at him, he grabs the knife and throws it at the other guy that's on the other side of him. He played it so well as a person who has basically been through war in every set or in every way possible at that time. You have to, or as well as you have to pretend that you are fighting something that's not there. When they are doing scenes where a giant titan is throwing energy at you, you got Liam Neeson freaking acting in a way, holding back that amount of power for as long as he possibly could before it overwhelms him. You have freaking Ralph Fiennes playing Hades in such a great way, man. Where Hades, in both films, Hades is manipulative, he is raspy, he is very he's weak in the beginning of the movie, but once the Kraken is released and he starts slaughtering Argus, he is finally able to speak without the rasp, and he is also not walking with a hunch or a limp, where he is, or it's like he's kind of talking like this. And then as soon as the Kraken comes out and starts feeding him power, feeding him strength through fear and devastation, he immediately is able to use his full voice. Argus has fallen and whatnot. He's able to project more power through his voice. Now, in the second movie, he doesn't have to do that. However, he does stand against Ares, expelling his anger and whatnot. You have characters who have to basically pretend to die, and they do a good job with that. Danny Houston playing Poseidon, and where he tells him that his father, or he tells him about his son just as he is dying. And he's like, I need you to find my son Agenor, give it, and if my son should prove himself worthy, give this to him, meaning his trident. Uh, I mean, freaking Tony Cabell playing the Navigator, Agenor. Jeez, so great. And he's like, or he's like, oh, or if my father sent you, I want nothing to do with you. Your father's dead. Gods don't die; they do now. Good. Could you do me a favor? Anything? Go to hell. Well, that's exactly where I'm going. you know. You have some nice quippy endings or acting. Now, Alexa Davalos plays Andromeda in the first one, where Rosamund Pike plays her in the second one. Rosamund Pike is more a warrior version of Andromeda, where you have Alexa Davalos, who plays less of a warrior and more, she's younger, and so she never really had need to be of a warrior princess or a warrior queen, where it's a nice difference. So the acting of a queen who secretly does like Perseus, Gemma Arterton does a good job as Io. However, there are bits where she does do or overdo it just a little bit. However, she's also softer as well, which or Mads Mikkelsen is so freaking great acting. The acting in both movies is so well done. However, Clash of the Titans in this case takes it because you have a lot more actors who are very well rehearsed actors doing such a great job. And believe me, this score was not easily chosen. So Clash, it begins its catch up right here with taking a third point with Wrath of the Titans still in the lead. We are now going to leads. So before we get to that, let's check out the chat. How would I compare 2012 Titans with other fantasy films such as Dark Shadows, Snow White, The Huntsman, Rise of the Guardians, Hobbit, Unexpected Journey? Hobbit, as bad as everybody says it was a well-told story. Wrath of the Titans or Dark Shadow, or so Wrath of the Titans is definitely a second placer. Compared to Unexpected Journey, I actually like the Hobbit trilogy, even though I know it very much diverts from Tolkien's story. But yes, Wrath of the Titans definitely takes second place out of that list. Moving on to the leads now. You have Liam Neeson or Sam Worthington. Sorry, my mind just blanked. You also have Rosamund Pike for Wrath of the Titans, and then you have all three of them for, or you have Ralph Fiennes, Sam Worthington, and Liam Neeson. When it comes to the lead, it's the same and having the same leads. It's very hard to score this, so you basically have to go, how well did they present themselves in these roles? Not merely through just acting, but their presence. Was their presence ever felt all the way through the films, you know? When it comes to Perseus, his presence is ever felt through both films. when it comes to Zeus, Wrath of the Titans, his presence is still ever felt because they have to get to Zeus in order to save him. And you also have Ralph Fiennes or Rosamund Pike, who is also ever present throughout the film, except for or once they introduce her into the second act. You have Ralph Fiennes as Hades in the first one. I mean, you got legendary actors here, folks. But when it does come to the leads, you had or Clash of the Titans takes it because, I mean, no offense to Rosamund Pike, she's a decent actress in her own right, but you have actors who are doing a better job in the first movie. The leads did a better job in the first movie when it comes to their characters needing to be in the forefront. So Clash actually is now caught up to Wrath of the Titans, where now we move to score. And let me tell you something, both of the scores, you have the first one, which has a good score. You have the second one, which has a good flare-up score. Both scores are easily forgettable until you look into them a little bit more. When it does come to, let's see here. All right. Hold on one second, folks. I am now just checking something out. There we go. All right, so yeah, just had to figure or do something first. So the musical score is more or less helps amplify a film. The score can be very emotional to amplify the film, or it can be used in the background of a film to keep or so that it's just not quiet and takes away from the atmosphere of the film. And more scenes than not, you hear the or I'm going more towards Clash here because Clash of the Titans has more of a noticeable theme that you hear more throughout the film, especially the heroic theme, where you also have you have a good one with Wrath of the Titans. However, it's more visceral and guttural and sort of undergroundish. So Clash of the Titans in this case takes the point for music and score because I remember more of Clash of the Titans score more than Wrath of the Titans. So now Clash of the Titans is actually taking the lead here. So between Louis Leterrier and Jonathan Liebsman, I'm gonna actually have to look up both of their movies or their filmographies. Louis Leterrier movies. IMDb. So I'm gonna share this tab for a moment. Go over to Streamyard and add this. So we're on director now, folks. And Louis Leterrier. I recognize him as the director of The Incredible Hulk, one of my favorite movies when it comes to Marvel. He also did Fast X, The Transporter, Now You See Me. This dude has done some good movies. Fast X is actually not one of them. So let's take a look at him, or look at his Fast X. I recognize Now You See Me. I recognize Clash of the Titans, Incredible Hulk, Transporters 2, Unleashed with Jet Li, The Transporter. The man's done a good job. Now let's look at Jonathan Liebsman. Yep, this is the one that I'm looking for. Accidentally misspelled it. So Liebsman, let's see here. What is he known for? Jesus, man. Battle Los Angeles. He did Battle Los Angeles. Dude did a good job with that one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles director. Wait. Liebsman directed the Bay Turtles? Huh. I thought Michael Bay did the Bay Turtles. Well, anyway, let's continue. Director. Oh, no, wait. Let's get rid of those. Let's put in director. Shut up. Error loading credits my ass. So, yeah. Apparently, he did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014. Huh. Wrath of the Titans, Battle Los Angeles, The Killing Room. He did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, Darkness Falls, Genesis Catastrophe. Let's see here. And he's also a director in the Halo series. Clash of the Titans takes the point, folks. Clash of the Titans, Louis Leterrier takes that point. And seeing how we only have budget left, we will look at the budgets for, I mean, right now, Clash of the Titans is the winner, but we will still finish out the other stuff. Share this tab instead. So Clash of the Titans had a $125 million budget, where and it grossed $493 million worldwide. So I would say that was a commercial success. Let's look over at Wrath of the Titans. So Wrath of the Titans, they had a $25 million jump in their budget. And I believe, scroll down a little bit. Yeah. 301 million. Either they just broke even by like $1 million, or they may have flopped. Wrath of the Titans didn't have that much of a marketing campaign. So I think it may have actually got ahead a little bit, broke even to get ahead a little bit. However, when you are measuring, or where Wrath of the Titans made double its budget, you're talking Clash of the Titans more than tripled its budget. So Clash of the Titans does take the budgetary point here. So we have a clear winner. It is Clash of the Titans is the better, or wins out of these two films. So correction, to defeat the monster, not from monster. Apologies for that, whatever. It's okay. Neozoic, let's check out what you guys have to say. How would I compare 2001 or 2012's others. Oh, I already did that. Movie where Jake Sully must defeat the monster, or let's get the head of Medusa from the, or to defeat the monster is not from the Greek that was unleashed by Ra's al Ghul. The fuck? So, oh yeah, Ra's al Ghul. Very witty. So, yes, folks, while actually, me personally, I like Wrath of the Titans just a little bit more due to the acting of frickin' Bill Nye. I mean, that whole frickin' scene with Bill Nye, man. We need your help to stop Hades from unleashing Kronos. That's the plan, is it? Yeah, right then. Right. Well, in that case, we'd best prepare for what? The end of the bloody world. I fucking love it. It's like, fuck. And he is a crazy god. He has been separated from Zeus and the Olympians for so long that he has literally gone fucking batshit crazy. And I absolutely love it because he just plays crazy so freaking well. Yes, I remember Neozoic. So yeah, you still fucking weird and whatnot. But yeah, it's like, oh my god, dude. I mean, he's like, shut it. How can I help them when I have no more power anymore? Who's he talking to? I don't know. And it's like, don't you walk away from me. His all-powerful father took it away from me when I sided with Hades in their little family argument. Yes, I know now it was a mistake. He's talking to himself, but he thinks somebody else is talking with him. And it's that same owl from the first one that everybody's like, what's this? Just leave it alone. It's hilarious, man. So he's talking essentially to Aphrodite, his wife, or Athena, his sister, or somebody. He hasn't, or nobody knows who he's talking to, but he freaking is so great. So he's like, or so when they introduce him, he's like, Perseus, son of Zeus, I am. Release the Kraken and all that. Yeah. Who are you? Oh, Agenor, son of Poseidon. Agenor. You ever hear of Agenor? Never heard of you. Well, your friend may know me by another name, the Navigator. Navigator? Navigator! Still no? Don't worry, son. He says there's many useless demigods. Just fucking hilarious shit, dude. I mean, that entire scene or all the scenes with freaking Bill Nye as Hephaestus, where he plays a crazy god, is so freaking great. Thank you, Neozoic, for stopping by, dude. Thank you so much. But yeah, folks, Clash of the Titans is the better film, even though I do like Wrath of the Titans just a little bit better. However, this is the objective measurement. So yeah, that is the end of the stream. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. You got Vanya, Junebug, Craig, Pierce, and Neozoic. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week is Deadpool versus Deadpool 2. Which movie is better made? Which movie is funnier? Which movie is all that stuff from the objective standard? So yes, big shout out to everybody who has been keeping my channel going with watch time, sharing my content out and whatnot. Y'all are freaking awesome people. I will try to get more content out as it comes. It all depends on what sort of news and stuff is out there, folks. If it's newsworthy, I'll report on it. If it's not, it's not my wheelhouse. I'm staying out of it. But yes, thank you to everybody. Also, if you want to check out my critic list, I still do reviews over there more than I do over here because I'm really not in the mood for reviews. I will do live reviews, however, of Frozen Empire, the Ghostbusters 4 movie, and Godzilla Kong. I do plan on doing live reviews for those movies. Those will be coming on Sunday or Sundays of the next few months. Instead of my weekly recap, they will indeed, the next couple Sundays will instead be live reviews. So when I come home from watching Ghostbusters 4, I will be doing a live review for those, or for that day on Sunday, because me. Sorry about that, folks. My camera died on the other thing. So, yes, Sunday will be a live review for Ghostbusters The Frozen Empire. And then the next Sunday will be a live review for Godzilla Kong. I will not be doing spoilers, or in fact, yes, I will be doing spoilers. I will be doing a spoiler free and then a spoiler discussion for both those films. So, anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all are freaking awesome. Anyway, I got to get going because I got to take care of some other stuff before tonight. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. This has been Orange Chat. Stay tuned for next week's Deadpool versus Deadpool 2. And you all have a wonderful night. And always remember to stay humble. Peace.